Hi, I'm Steven, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to de-winterize a 1 to 200 sensor from Prominent Equipment. So this happens to be on a DAC-B controller. The situation that we're in right now is that this sensor has the old membrane cap on it from last year. That during that winterization process, we removed that cap, cleaned out the electrolyte solution, dried it out completely by air drying, and put that cap back on for protection. So I'm going to start just by pulling this out of the manifold. This is just in here to keep it from getting hit over the winter, and we'll start from here. So this actually, during the cleaning process, got a little wet down here in the manifold system. Normally this would be completely dry before we start. So I'm going to take this membrane cap off by unscrewing it, and then I'll come right back. It actually looks like I'm going to be able to hold the phone and unscrew this at the same time. So when you're screwing or unscrewing it, the unscrewing part's not critical, but keep a hold of the top of the cap, like here, because this rubber band has a little hole underneath of it for pressure overflow, and you'll see why that's important here in a minute. Okay, so here we have the new membrane cap and the electrolyte solution. This membrane cap actually has an additional cap here on the bottom. For now, we'll take that off here in a minute. But you just want to tip it to the side. The idea is to not get air bubbles, because air bubbles can throw off the sensor. If you do get air bubbles, you just have to kind of pop them. We're going to fill this up to the bottom of the threads. See if you can see that. There. You can kind of see that I filled this up to the bottom of these threads, about right here, because we're going to put this on the probe or the sensor and screw that in, and it will overflow here in a minute. Let me figure out how to hold on to this. So here to resume this video, we're just going to take this electrolyte cap, or this membrane cap, excuse me. Get my camera to sit still, and we're just going to try not to touch the end of that sensor, and we'll just start screwing it on. Being careful not to put pressure on that rubber band here. I'm just going to get it nice and tight. There we go. That's all there is to it. We'll take this cap off, and we're finished with that step. And now we'll just put it in our bucket of solution. We'll leave this in here for 24 hours before we attempt to calibrate. This is called the burn-in period. 24 hours. It'll jump around, you know, the parts per million if you have the monitor on, which you should have it powered on. We'll jump around parts per million quite a bit. It can be fairly sporadic. It'll settle down and allow you to calibrate it in the next good rule of thumb is 24 hours. If you can come in here and swirl it every so often, that's not a bad idea. It seems to work well. Either way, ideally it would be under operating conditions where the water is moving, but most of the time it seems like it's not. So we'll do this for 24 hours, then we'll calibrate, then we'll start packing produce, and then calibrate it again after. It'll get it pretty close, and then we'll calibrate again once we have the water moving past the sensor for a good period of time, a few hours. All right, that's it.